Hello, and welcome to an exciting episode of Brain 10. And I almost forgot that it was not a tip for tip, but Brain 10. This is episode 120, kind of a milestone, I would say. And today we have 10 takeaways from Twitter shutting down Vine. The date of this recording is actually the date that Twitter is shutting it down. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. My name is Aaron.
My name is Christian.
My name is Franklin.
All right, and we will get into the show, but I want to try something from a video that I watched on some people who do live hangouts, and that is in between us talking, since the noises like mess up, that we just mute our mics in between. If you're not saying anything, just mute your mic because it like switches over to somebody if they're scratching or anything like that, so it'd be better quality for people who are watching not live. So Christian, go ahead and take it away.
All right, perfect. So we are basically talking about, Twitter shutting down Vine. This is still, this happened a few months ago. Technically, they announced it a few months ago. I think it's officially like offline. The app is offline. You can still view and see all of the Vines. So they're not getting rid of any of that stuff. But the number one takeaway that I have here on the list is I think one of the reasons why Twitter is ending up shutting down Vine, even though they bought Vine for what, 30 million or something? More than that? Was it in the billions? Oh, I can't hear anything, Aaron.
It was like 30 or 40 million. I tried to click it, but the little button messed up. Anyway, yeah, I think it was like 30 or 40 million. It was not in the billions.
Okay. But yeah, so I think the number one takeaway and the reason I think that they're shutting down Vine is that Vine didn't keep up with the industry. So Twitter bought Vine, and after Vine, they bought Periscope and all that, but they didn't really do much with the app once they got it. They didn't, they already had a community. Vine it was already huge. It had blown up. So Twitter got them after all that happened. But after Twitter acquired them, they didn't really do anything to keep up with the industry. So you had Snapchat, and then you have Instagram adding video, and then you have Facebook doing Facebook Live at the time. So all these things played a factor into Vine basically not growing their user base, and eventually shutting down, which is what they're doing right now. So yeah, number one takeaway is that they didn't innovate, they didn't change, they had the 6-second Vines, and that was it.
Yeah, okay. We'll expand on those, but that's a really solid point. So my number two, moving on here, is this could be the start of something similar, and I kind of talk about this with something that Christian's already mentioned, which is Periscope, and we can go a different route with that, but maybe Twitter's thinking about something different. They recently brought in their old CEO. They let him go, and then they brought him back because Twitter was plummeting, and maybe this has all been part of his plan, saying like, hey, if Vine doesn't keep up with this, then we need to go a different route. We need to do something differently, because basically everybody took the idea of Vine, those short second videos, and then made it their own and made it better. So maybe they're thinking of something different with video that's completely revolutionary that we just don't have an idea yet. So that's my thought on it right now, is that, Twitter's going to be around, and I think that they know that. So they have to be thinking of something big. And if they're shutting down Vine, it's for good reason.
I absolutely agree. And I'm saying I'm going to say something about that later, but not it's along the same lines, but it's not the same thing. So stay tuned. So like one of my takeaways from Vine going away, it's not one of the things that actually like played into them actually going away, but it was one of the good things that Vine actually did, and which I think that with it still being alive via Twitter, which I think we've talked about before here, is that it gave people the ability to practice and become more comfortable with video. So like with the videos being so short, it gave people an opportunity to actually practice like one lines or practice quick ways of telling the story in front of video. And I really liked that platform because of that, because it also gave you the I guess you can say the ability to create those one-liners or the two-liners in that 6 seconds to actually get your point across. So it gives you like that short place, the place where you can go and like watch and actually analyze to see if people are actually engaging with what you're saying. That way you could curate all the short-term content into something longer and actually like get your message out on the other platforms that allow more time. So that was one thing that Vine actually did. So it definitely is going, not because Twitter is actually going to be implementing it into Twitter itself now. I think it'll be, I guess you can say, a good place where you can still do those kind of things.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how many people got famous from using Vine, and it was really their creativity and what they did with the app in order to achieve that amount of success. And I mean, it was really a short period of time where 10 to 15 people really kind of went all out, and now they're making movies and they're basically celebrities.
Right. I mean, Zach King is making millions of dollars a year, started on Vine. Now he's really big on Instagram, but yeah, I think he's helping produce movies, or at least parts of movies or short commercials. And yeah, you're exactly like just from Vine. So it's crazy.
Yep. All right. So the number 4, and this is something that Vine was good. The reason why Vine was good for Twitter, I guess, at that particular time and point, and Twitter has been struggling with investors and everything because their user base is just not going up. It's been pretty stagnant compared to other social media platforms out there, and it's been kind of rocky. And I think the CEO stepped down, and I think it was Jack Dorsey. He came back, who was the actual founder of Twitter, and that still didn't help. But Vine, for a short period of time, while it was still a hot social media network, it did help Twitter, and it brought video basically to Twitter, where Twitter, it was only 140 characters, and that was the only way for you to express yourself on Twitter. And along came Vine and added just another layer to Twitter, and it helped it boost for a little bit, but it still wasn't enough. And I think it just goes back to number 1, is because they did not innovate and they didn't do anything to that platform.
Right. Yes, and that's a great start for number 1, is exactly what you said about the innovation part, because each one of ours, I think, besides a few of them, can always build upon what you're saying there. It's like you got to adapt or kind of die at that point. So this number 5 is literally my takeaway from Vine is that, okay, if I was a founder or of a company and I had a hot idea, if you're not thinking longevity for it, or if you're not thinking big platform, my number 5 is really to build a video app that's different, acquire the users, and then sell it. Because the people who created Vine, they just got to pay out a $30 million or $50 million, or well, we need to figure out what it is. But either way, a lot of freaking money. And now Twitter's fighting to bill for it. So something to be taken away from this is that Vine's not hurting at all, or the people who are running Vine or who started out with Vine, because they had something great there. It was Twitter's job to take it to the next level. They just didn't do it. So that's on their end. But if you're looking at it as, hey, I'm creating an app, and you sell it to a big company, then you could still be paying out even if it's not successful.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because I know that there are some people out there, and you hear a lot of people say it about content creators too, that just want to create content for the sake of creating content so they can sell their account. Well, if somebody big comes in and buys the account and then they don't do the job like to keep it up, that's not on you. I still won, and everybody else that was on the platform that gained something from it before you acquired it are still winning. So it's not on us, it's on you. And you can say that about Twitter, and Twitter, the platform itself too. They've been doing a horrible job of actually trying to keep up with the game, period. And yeah, Vine Dine is one of the things that is like I guess you can say that like one of the not nails in the coffin. Well, not the nail, but one of the nails in the coffin. So, okay, I think yeah, it's my turn. Oh my God, yeah. So this one is one thing that I wanted to say about Vine, and it's kind of a segue into what Aaron just said. But if you've it proved that you need to be active on all platforms when it comes to social media. If you establish yourself on one platform, this perfect example, I'll just use Instagram. If you're famous on Instagram right now, what's to say that in a couple of years, Instagram will be completely obsolete and no one will be on that platform? Which, if trends keep going the way that they are, eventually that's what's going to happen. Eventually something else is going to come along. It's going to give users a better user experience. It's going to give users a different contact feature where they can contact with the people that they like that are creating the content. It's going to do something that is going to push people from using Instagram to using something else if Facebook doesn't continue to upgrade it. And if you've built your audience there and you've only honed in on that one single platform and not even like played in the playground of the other platforms, you're going to be screwed, for lack of better words. Because if you look at, like Christian said earlier, a lot of the guys that are on Vine, that were on Vine, like King Batch, Zach King, there's a lot of Kings on Vine.
Logan Paul,
Amy Cerny, like all those people started out on Vine, and now most of them, I know for a fact, are vlogging on YouTube, and they all have Instagram accounts where they continue to collaborate with each other and create that short form content, and they're creating the same content but in vlog form on YouTube. So basically, really, they're expanding themselves to make sure that if one goes down, there's going to be another one, just like a savings account. Like if one bank gets locked up by the Fed and you can't get to your money, you need to have that money somewhere else. So yeah, that would be like a takeaway that I definitely am. Like I'd actually, honestly, like for what I do outside of BitBranding, I've been fighting with actually wanting to continue to use one particular platform to share content on. And this is one thing that's like opening my eyes, actually putting this in, like typing it out myself. I was like, yeah, I think I need to keep on spreading myself out. Focus on one, but make sure that you like at least drop a line somewhere every now and then. And I heard Gary say that last night on his podcast too. So perfect example is that is a podcast with Gary Vee. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember we had a conversation about, I was talking to you about like, oh, like all these people that got famous on Vine are now just doing vlogs on YouTube. Like all of them have vlogs. And I mean, they're probably following kind of like Casey's footsteps in there a little bit. But still, it's the fact that, yeah, they migrated from Vine into something different. Maybe they saw it coming. Maybe they knew that, you know, the platform's not changing. It's not giving us what we want. So let's kind of like, you know, move along these other platforms that are actually innovating and doing new things and doing all this stuff. And that kind of moves into the next one, number 7, which is kind of similar to number 1. But it kind of goes a little bit more in depth. And this I got from an article that it says that all the other trends that were going on was Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, and all of these platforms were, yes, they all had video, but they all had like that long form video. I mean, obviously YouTube, you can have however many hours of video. With Facebook, you can also have, I don't know, I haven't seen any hour-long videos on Facebook, but you can see some pretty long videos on Facebook. Instagram, they've been increasing every single time. I think they started with 15 seconds to compete with Snapchat and all that, and now they're, I think, up to a minute, maybe more than a minute. I don't know. But every single platform has been increasing the content of their video, and Vine didn't. And their article that I was reading said that was one of the moves that Vine failed to do, was to increase to a long form content somehow. Like, I mean, Snapchat, for example, they still have the 10-second video that you can do, but you can put those together and make a story. So, I mean, Vine could have done something similar to that in order to stay up to trend.
Absolutely. And, oh man, yeah, I could go down a complete rabbit hole with that, but I will move on to my number 8. So this means that Twitter could focus more efforts on the other avenue, like Periscope. So maybe, again, I'm more of like this a speculation person, and saying that maybe they're going to spend more time on saying that, okay, Periscope isn't going to die. We're going to be competitive with Facebook Live, and this is the avenue we're going to go, and try to introduce something really nice with their live feature within Twitter, all in one area. I think that that's what's going to be successful, and why Facebook's successful is that they have the audience, but then it's all wrapped up into one platform. And so this could mean that they're spending a lot more time on Periscope and trying to make that even more successful.
I agree, simply because, just like you said earlier, with them bringing in their old CEO, I'm guaranteed that he sees trends. He was the one that got Twitter to where it was got Twitter to where it was before it started to plummet. Just like when Apple forced Steve Jobs out, they brought him back in to bring Apple back to where it is now. Now, going on to actually continue that, I can continue that conversation, because I've been thinking about that for a minute, trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do next to make sure that they stay afloat. But I think that one thing that I will take away from Vine is that whenever your users or your followers say something, listen to them. I remember specifically hearing a lot of my younger siblings and cousins that liked Vine and enjoyed Vine grovel and groan and moan about some of the things that were wrong with the platform that could have also pushed people out of using Vine. It's got them to use Instagram and Snapchat, because that's where all that audience went to. They went straight to Instagram and Snapchat because they were not being able to save their videos. The Vines were too short. There was no way that you can actually full on edit the Vines and make them unique. You couldn't upload upload content from DSLRs or any other device without hacking. There were so many different issues with the platform itself that I'm sure that they got many meme tweets, emails, Facebook messages to their Facebook page, and Vine actually even had a Facebook page. But I'm guaranteeing that there was some type of customer service experience that didn't take place so that Vine could actually grow as a platform. And they didn't listen. They didn't listen. So listen to your audience, listen to the people that are using your platform, and don't Vine did.
Sorry, there was a a breach in the office, and I was wondering if it was the door or not. It sounded like the door had opened in the office, so I was going to check on that. Side note. Anyway.
It did, but I don't know where, like.
Okay, it must have been the wind. So, all right. Anyway, to be continued. It is Christian's turn. What's so funny, Christian?
No, I heard the door too. I don't know what it was then.
Oh, all right. Well, take it away, sir.
Take what away?
It's your number 10.
Do I?
You're next.
Oh, I thought we were done for some reason. Okay, anyway, number 10,
No.
and my last one. So Twitter is doing the right thing still. We'll be, I mean, they announced that they were going to close, but they still said that they were going to keep all the vines intact and safe. So anyone can definitely go back and see all their vines and download all their vines if they want to do that. So I think you can go to the actual website and go and search for some of the old vines and all that stuff. But still in there, I remember seeing an article that the original founders of Vine didn't want Twitter to sell Vine somewhere else. They were going to close it, and do something new. But yeah, I think Twitter did the right thing by kind of doing it slow. They announced it, and then people made their last few vines, and they made videos on YouTube, like saying, rest in peace, Vine, and some of them even showcased, some of their favorite vines. So that was kind of cool to see, because it was a good community, and it was a pretty big community, and a lot of people got famous again. But I think it was the right move for Twitter to do that, and to let people still be able to see their old vines and their old content.
I remember I used to literally sit and watch vines. I mean, I spent a ton of time watching vines because they were all funny. Like, there's a bunch of Rihanna goat videos that I would just watch because I would just start crying because it's like she sang a song and then it sounded like a goat and it's like, rah! I mean, so Vine was good. Definitely gonna miss Rihanna goat videos and cool Zach King videos of jumping out of things or like throwing stuff against the wall. But all good things must come to an end or change. But all right, so my last one, number 11, is kind of going off of what we've talked about before, but it's just proof that it does not matter how big you are. The market will speak for you. If you're bigger, it just means that it takes longer for you to fall, and we may not be seeing it as much on the outside as well. More like a smaller company or a smaller social media platform. If they're not doing well, you're going to see it from the very beginning. They've probably had a problem with Vine and Twitter for a couple of years now, even before it was sold, maybe a year after it was sold. So for 2 or 3 years, they've been trying to fix it, and we're just now seeing the problems with it. But my point or takeaway with this is that if you're not producing good content, if you're not producing things like Christian said that is innovative and reaching the audience, it doesn't matter how big you are or how much money you have. Eventually, the market will speak for itself, and you will fall. So definitely a takeaway from that.
Okay, so now that it's my turn, I'm going to say this. I believe and feel like Aaron said earlier that not only does it give Twitter the opportunity to actually focus on an area that is prominent in their company already, Periscope, which had the summer, I want to say something, wasn't it summer 2015? Summer 15, where like there was a really big like rush to like Periscope. People left using Meerkat and went straight to Periscope. But I think that my last thing, number 12, is that it leaves an open space for short form video for someone to come in and create a brand new platform that is specifically for short video, but do it differently than what Vine did. Like I really feel like, even though, like, I guess you can say it's kind of like renovating an old house. Like renovating an old house. You buy it, or better yet, take the bare bones of it, strip it down to what it is, and then add on top of it and figure out a way to make it different, and don't do the things that Vine did absolutely wrong, but do the things that they did right. And I'm guaranteeing that whoever comes in and actually does it will be successful. And then also, Vine itself is gone, you know, but you can still download Vine Camera, which is the Twitter application where you can record 6-second videos and uploads them, and it uploads them straight to Twitter. But for the most part, that whole entire thing is going kaput, and it leaves the opportunity for someone else to come in and do it a complete different way. Like, somebody that I would like to see do it, and I know it's going to be random, but I would like to see Reddit come in and actually take on, like, the idea of actually creating 6-second videos like that. Like, think of the community of Reddit creating 6-second videos around a subreddit. Like, that would be, like, ridiculous. But that's just one thing that I like.
I could see that. It's like, it's hard because the reason Vine was successful was because it was a 6-second video, and they're like, this is the way that we've built it, and if we change that, then we get away from our roots. So maybe that's why they didn't do it. But same thing with Reddit. They're all about being the front page of the internet. They're not really about aesthetics. They're just about conversation. So I don't know. It could be hit or miss. I think I would like to see that. I definitely not long form video. So it would be short form video on Reddit. So
Right.
I'd be curious for that too.
But I'll say this. It goes contrary to exactly what we said. You're never too big to where you don't need to change. It was your last thing. It was the last thing that you just said. Like, you can never be too big to where you don't need to keep in line with the industry. That's why, you know, like Gary says it all the time. Like, the New York Times should have created a Business Insider. Sports Illustrated should have been the company that created Bleacher Report. Hilton Inn should have created
Airbnb. Yeah.
Airbnb. Like, it's exactly what he said. And if Reddit doesn't do something to add to their platform other than short form content from multiple people, they will fail too.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily fail. I mean, I don't think those places they've lost a piece of the market. But they're not necessarily failing, because I mean, Reddit is actually doing very, very well for its audience, but it could lose a chunk to somebody else who comes in and does something similar with video.
Right.
So I get what you're saying there. That may be a topic that we could talk about. Where do we think platforms should go to the next level? How could Facebook put Facebook out of business, or go on from that stuff? But anyway, we will wrap up today's episode. We want to thank you guys for watching. If you've watched this far, it would make no sense for you to not subscribe, because every episode is just this good. To be candid with you guys, we are talking about the option of maybe a podcast or what to do with Brain 10. It will still be in existence the way that it is in the form of content, but where it goes to the next level, we do not know yet. Just like from you guys who maybe have jumped over to YouTube from watching on Blab. We left Blab and now we tried it on YouTube, and so we will just keep you guys posted, but we'll continue to create content. But that is really it. This was episode 120. 10 takeaways from Twitter shutting down Vine, and a little bit more in depth than just that. So it's a good episode. I was the host today. My name is Aaron.
My name is Christian.
And I was muted, but my name is Franklin.
All right. Even muted, his name still is Franklin. So you guys can see him every week too. Muted or unmuted, Franklin.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys.